You ever watch someone just stroll onto your property and haul away everything you busted your ass to grow like they own the place? Yeah, that happened to me one foggy morning in Sonoma County. And the story's crazier than any TV drama you've binge-watched lately. Let me back up a sec. The morning mist was thick, wrapping my vineyard like a soft blanket quiet, except for the occasional rustle of leaves and the faint chirping of birds settling into the day. I was standing among my Cabernet vines, running my hands over the clusters I'd tended since spring. These grapes weren't just fruit, they were the heartbeat of the Sullivan family legacy, 3 generations deep. My grandpa's old sign, Sullivan Vineyard Est, 1952, hung weathered on the gate, its paint faded but spirit as fierce as ever. I breathed it all in, thinking about the contracts lined up with Napa's best wineries, the late nights, the early mornings, the sweat, the risk. This harvest meant everything. From the porch came a familiar laugh, my daughter Emily, already live streaming for her followers before her Stanford law classes started. At 21, sharp as a tack and twice as stubborn, she waved at me through the fog, phone in hand, and that mischievous grin that usually meant she was up to something. I smiled back, thinking, you don't know what today holds yet, kid. Then, slicing through that peaceful haze came the growl of engines, a convoy of vehicles rolling down my gravel driveway. Shining black Cadillac Escalade, leading the pack like a presidential motorcade, followed by 2 white pickup trucks emblazoned with HOA security in big, bold letters. My gut didn't twist, didn't flip. After 30 years of battles with red tape, corporate vultures, and folks who thought land was just a game piece, I knew calm was the only way out. The door of the Escalade swung open, and out stepped Karen Thompson, chairwoman of the Silver Bluffs Estates Homeowners Association, dressed like she was headed to Wall Street, not my vineyard at dawn. Blonde bob, Prada sunglasses, Armani suit crisp enough to cut glass. She had that special look, power, entitlement, and a dash of, I own this town, like some kind of suburban queen bee. 2 burly security guards hopped out, flanking her like personal bodyguards straight out of a bad action flick. Chad Miller, the muscle-bound gym rat, and Brett Johnson, who looked bored enough to be anywhere but here, but wasn't about to quit a paycheck. Karen's voice cut through the cold morning air, all clipped and polished authority. Mr. Sullivan, this entire lot of grapes violates the new community agricultural safety standards. We are here to impound these grapes for immediate inspection. She brandished a thick folder with the HOA logo stamped on every page, a glossy, official-looking mountain of documents filled with legalese and county health code references that could scare most folks into silence. Emily, always the strategist, had lowered her phone but kept recording. She knew better than anyone that documentation is everything. I crossed my arms and calmly said, I'd like to see the court order for this seizure. Karen's smirk grew. We don't need a court order, Mr. Sullivan. The HOA has emergency powers under the new Community Safety Ordinance 2024-15. We've already applied it successfully to resolve issues with 12 other agricultural properties in the past 6 months. Brett tried to lift one of my carefully packed crates and promptly dropped it, spilling grapes like purple hail across the walkway. Juice splattered all over Karen's pristine white shoes and inside her designer handbag. Her shriek pierced the silence. You idiot. Do you know how much these shoes cost? I just stood there, watching them load crate after crate into their trucks with the mechanical precision of thieves who thought they'd already won. 10 minutes in, I texted a message I'd been waiting to send for months. Phase 1 has begun. Are you ready? The response was instant. Standing by. Karen was already taking selfies with my grapes in the back of the truck, posting to Facebook like she'd just scored a trophy. Chad boomed. 30 years in security, and I've never seen it this easy. Most people fight back. I let them enjoy their little victory, 10 minutes exactly. Watching, waiting. Like a predator stalking its prey. Then, I stepped forward. Enjoy your moment, Karen, I said softly, because in 30 seconds, you're going to learn what real ownership means. Her face froze, confusion creeping in like cold fog. That's when the twist hit. I walked calmly to a heavy steel gate hidden just 50 yards away and pulled out a set of keys. With a metallic groan, the gate swung open to reveal a massive sign 20 feet wide, 8 feet tall, federal lettering screaming official business. Sonoma Federal Agricultural Storage Facility. Authorized by the United States Department of Agriculture federal licensing, required for all agricultural transport within a 50-mile radius. Karen's confidence drained, face paling to something like old milk. "That's impossible," she stammered. "I checked everything. There's no way you have federal authority." I smiled. "Karen, what you just loaded on that truck is federally regulated. Every grape leaving this county has to go through this facility for quality control and interstate commerce compliance, including those grapes." Chad and Brett glanced at each other, realization dawning. Karen's phone rang. She dialed fast. "Richard, it's Karen. Everything is proceeding exactly as planned." Except it wasn't. Out from behind the facility stepped Jake Rodriguez, leather briefcase in hand, smirking like he was ready to tear Karen's world apart. "Sorry to crash your little operation," Jake announced, "but you got a few things to learn about who you're dealing with." Jake, former senior logistics coordinator at Redfield Beverages, the very company behind the development scheme, had evidence stacked so thick it could bury Karen's entire empire. Emails, contracts, bribes, backroom deals, all exposed live on Emily's stream, now switched to YouTube, exploding with thousands of viewers in real time. "Karen," Jake said, "you promised Redfield 30% below market value for these grapes. You're just the tip of a corporate spear aiming to rip up family farms." Karen went white, then red, then pale, again desperate calls unanswered, guards sweating, the whole house of cards collapsing. One by one, farmers who'd lost everything to Karen's schemes appeared. Maria Martinez, David Wilson, Bill Peterson goes from the past here to testify how Karen's community safety was really corporate land theft dressed up in legal jargon. Karen screamed lies, accusations, conspiracy, but the evidence was overwhelming. Then came the sirens, federal task force rolling in, FBI agents stepping out, badges flashing. Agent Sarah Mitchell read Karen her rights, charging her with conspiracy, wire fraud, agricultural commodity manipulation, money laundering, tax evasion, the works. Karen tried to run, but was caught in an undignified chase that had Emily's viewers in stitches. The whole thing was surreal. Security guards trying to flee, their vehicles sabotaged earlier by a mechanic friend of mine, and federal agents calmly closing the net. 2 weeks later, Karen was sentenced to federal prison. Redfield Beverages declared bankruptcy. The courts established the Sullivan Agricultural Preservation Trust, funded by restitution payments, to protect family farms from this kind of corporate greed forever. And me? I revealed to everyone the truth behind the map I spread out on the hood of that federal SUV. I own nearly 80% of the agricultural land within 15 kilometers. Every property I'd saved from Karen's destruction by buying them at fair prices and keeping families farming. Maria, David, Bill all back in business, thriving. Emily's streaming career had exploded, now a voice for justice, a citizen journalist exposing corruption. The community had come together stronger than ever. So, you see, what looked like a simple grape heist became a massive takedown of greed, corruption, and abuse of power. And Karen Thompson? She woke a sleeping giant, one who fought back not with fists, but with patience, strategy, and a law. So here's my question for you folks. What would you do if someone tried to steal everything you worked for, your family legacy, your livelihood, your future? Would you stand still? Would you fight back? Or would you let the powerful bully you into silence? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. I want to hear your stories about justice, fairness, and the battles we all face defending what's ours. If you're fired up by stories of ordinary people outsmarting corrupt systems, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and stick around for the next jaw-dropping tale that'll make you believe in fighting back. Because sometimes the quiet ones pack the biggest punch. Thanks for listening.